Welcome everyone, today we'll have a new farming guide for Diablo 4. Now firstly, let's have a look what is available in this new spot. So the first thing you want to notice is this is the Slay All feature, which shows you all the indications of the monsters on the map. And you can see over here, it's a pretty hefty size of packs of elites, and the elites will be summoned on top of you. And let me show you guys a little bit more. So similar to Demon's Week, this particular dungeon is designed so that the second part of the dungeon will have a Slay All feature. You can see the density of monsters on my map, and similarly this dungeon also have multiple availability of the shines, which you can pick up to fasten your pace of farming. Now the better part about this dungeon compared to Demon's Week is that there's a different variety of monsters which you can have an advantage of, and also the map size is much slower. So this allows you to kind of concentrate the monsters, play as a party, and also get the most experience. It is considerably shorter in terms of leveling. You can see the monsters somewhere on top of me, right? So it is a little shorter to level and also to farm because the map size is a little more narrow, which allows you to group enemies together, kill them faster, and also reset the dungeon. And here what I'll do is, at the end of the video, I'll show you guys a demonstration of me trying this dungeon, and also the replay of how we run the dungeon. Now coming over to my character over here, you can see that I have been testing a lot of experienced places to be farming, and I'll show you guys a few more that is not as great but can be working as well. So firstly, where is the location of the dungeon? The dungeon is located on Act 5. The name of the dungeon is Haunted Refuge. Now because this dungeon is a little further away to most of the teleportation portals, I recommend coming from backwater. It takes you about 20 seconds to travel there, and once you get there, you can start farming. Now briefly going through the guide of the dungeon layout and also the farming tips for the dungeon. This dungeon is very similar to Demon's Week. The Slay All function is designed on the second part of the dungeon, and you have to complete the first part. But unlike Demon's Week, which you are destroying 2 of the Shaman Shire effigies, here what you're doing is you're looking for 2 objectives to be picking up and also returning. Now this can work to your advantage or disadvantage. It really depends on your party's choices of moving across the map and also how you play it. Usually a party of 2 is recommended for a dungeon type like this one, because one player can go for one of the items like here I do, while my team is going for the other item. The best part about picking those items up is when one of the players return the items, the rest of the team will get a cooldown reset. So notice here, my cooldown is fully resetted, and this allows the other team to move faster, cast more spells, and come back quicker. Now a small tip of advice, if you do return one of the orbs and your team is not back yet, you can be clearing monsters. You don't have to rush to clear the monsters beforehand, because sometimes you'll be waiting for your team to come back, and once they come back, you can go to the next part. Well, now once both of the objectives have been returned, there's an intermediate part which you have to clear a particular part of the dungeon, but this happens very quickly. And after that, you get to the next part. Now the next part is the highlight, because the Slay All function is actually available in a dungeon that is much more narrow, and the monster's density is really good. So this means your team can work together, and this allows 2 players, 4 players, 3 players to play this effectively. Now the reason I don't recommend playing this as a solo player is that you have to return 2 objectives, and to do this as a solo player, it is a lot of backtracking. If you do want to play as a solo, we have a guide about the Sicilian Caverns, which is previously, I'll have the links available for you guys. Now the best thing is, you can see the density of monsters, you know where to go and you know where to farm, and this is the best part about farming for those dungeons. Now as you guys gonna see in my full replay, the dungeon size is much smaller, with the same density of monsters and also same unique features of summoning elites on top of you, which pretty much gives you about 2 to 3 minutes farming, depending how understanding of the dungeon you are, and also how much of the shines you get. We can achieve about 2 minutes to farm the dungeon, which gives us about 800,000 experience, which is a really good game for this type of dungeons. Now over here, I have also tested a number of other dungeons to check experience for us, and I want to say a big thank you for all the viewers and also all the players who's been sharing me tips with different dungeons to be testing, and also coming over to the live stream to share more tips with me. So here you can see I've been testing Uldur Woods. This one's not the best, so you can skip this one if you're going for experience. But on the other hand, Uldar's Cave is interesting, because this dungeon have the similar mechanics. The first part allows you to destroy a few of the barricades, while once you get to the second part, you'll be having a Slay All feature. Now the dungeon has a little bit of fairly sizable backtracking, and the dungeon layout is not the best. And in comparison, the first dungeon I showed to you guys is the best one in terms of experience. But guys, if you're looking for a different variety of monsters, which are humanoid, which can drop certain, higher rate of certain items, you can come over here. because I'm slaying bandits and there's a lot of bandits and also elites to be slain over here. The experience gain is a little slower, simply because I'm testing this on a solo player and there's a lot of backtracking for this dungeon. But you can see, the map size density is fairly okay. I'll have the replay of this test run for you guys as well at the end of the video. Now in case you guys are wondering, Uldur's cave is located over here, so it is on Act 4 and you come over here with Iron Wolf's encampment, and this is the fastest way. Now before we go to the replays, in case you guys are wondering, the Demon's Wake is still working wonderfully. You can see in our videos, there's a lot of elite packs, but the monsters are quite hard if you're playing this as a player that, you're having trouble with this one. And we do have a really good solo farming spot with the Silicon Caverns. You can come over here to farm the spiders. And also, one thing to keep in mind guys, as I get over level 95, I start to get a reduction of experience, because monster levels will be fixed at level 95. So as I test more dungeons, if you look at my replay, I'm actually getting 10, 20 or 30% less experience. So my display of income of experience may be a little, out of date because my level is too high. So notice I'm currently fighting level 95 monsters. I'm level 97. That means I'm losing 20% experience. So if you're checking my experience, you can see it's going to be a little lesser compared to you guys. Now if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. And over here, we have a full replay of running both of the dungeons. The first dungeon I mentioned, which is Haunted Refuge, and also the second available dungeon, which has a different variety of monsters with Uldur's Cave. Make sure you use the timestamps to check those replays. Now, in case you guys didn't know, I'll be live streaming on Twitch again, and I have just started. So make sure to come over to the links below to join us on Twitch Live to say hi, maybe ask me questions or share any tips with the viewers. And while you're here, make sure you follow. And if you do have your Twitch Prime, this is a really good time to use your Twitch Prime over here, supporting us with Twitch Prime. And yes, guys, join us as I test build for Diablo, and also join us as you play the game and also farm the game. So stay a while and also listen. We'll also be doing some giveaways and also special viewer events in the Diablo as well. Maybe we do PvP and also related events in the game as we get to the end game, and also help players to go through the dungeons.